Can AI generate exam papers? So since every 3 days I hear online that AI is going to make humanity obsolete by taking our jobs, I thought it would be a good idea to actually try to use it to my advantage. And how exactly? By generating exam past papers. The first thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to figure out if we can generate a physics paper 1, and then secondly, a maths paper 2. No, still paper 1. The results? A mixed bag. I first went into it asking ChatGPT if it can generate a physics paper 1, as they are notoriously difficult and hard to deal with. But when I saw the paper, the disappointment I felt was similar to my parents when I brought them a D for my physics exam. Rough times. Because it almost felt like ChatGPT didn't listen to me at all. The first thing that it did is that it brought a question from a previous physics past paper that I have definitely seen before, even though I have definitely instructed ChatGPT to give me a fresh new paper rather than just a question from the past. So that was already mistake number 1, and we are not starting off to a great start.
Post-editing done. Although I still think there's a problem with this question, it isn't the one that I originally mentioned. One of the issues that I noticed is that it asks you to use the conservation of momentum and kinetic energy. The problem with this is that it would require you to solve a system of quadratic simultaneous equations, which is not something that you do at physics. This is why this is more problematic. The question is actually a bit more unique than I gave it credit for, however, it is still problematic because it's still outside of the spec's boundary. Strike number 1.
Next, the electricity question provided was this one. Now, just consider this for a few seconds. Look at the amount of marks being given. They're asking you to solve a parallel combination. This is all the calculations. For 3 marks. Anybody that has ever done a AQA physics paper is going to feel insulted because getting 3 marks, you're gonna have to sweat in order to get them. But doing a parallel combination, that's just not realistic. Strike number 2. Alright, final complaint that I have about this. Deriving the natural frequency equation, or rather just the first harmonic. This isn't supposed to be here. I have checked the specification, and specifically the wave section where this is supposed to come from, and nowhere near it could I see derivation of the natural frequency, or the first harmonic, to actually be here. So they're essentially just giving you a derivation that isn't supposed to be there. Strike number 3. And there's a lot of other complaints, such as a thermodynamics question that's not supposed to be here, and the mark number being wrong, but that's neither here or there. Okay, that was a lot. Where were we? Oh yeah, the math paper now. The past paper that I just tried to give it now. Okay, maybe it was my fault. Maybe the problem was that I asked it the wrong question, or maybe I didn't give it a specification, which may have helped it be more specific, even though I'm pretty sure it should have access to the specification, but that's besides the point. So this time I fed it the Edexcel A-level math specification because I thought, okay, maybe this is going to improve accuracy. But there were still a lot of complications. The first thing that I noticed right away is that there's a significant lack of complicated trigonometric identities which you would usually expect. For example, sec, cot, and cosec are just not here, and usually they are in a paper 1 for A-level maths. This looked a little bit too close to AS, even though I specified A level. So that already started to make me concerned. But then there were other issues, such as most of the questions in here being based off of polynomials. So you had differentiation of polynomials and then integration of polynomials, which you will get a polynomial, but it's unlikely for it to be this simple. It's going to be a little bit more complex. Also, one thing I noticed, there isn't any sort of mentioning of numerical methods. That's another issue. But I think the final bit takes the cake, because it's a derivation of a formula that I haven't seen explored in any books whatsoever. If you look closely, you're going to notice that there isn't any mentioning of this, and I checked the specification and there's nothing there either. So essentially, ChatGPT put a not fake derivation, but a derivation that isn't supposed to be there, similarly to what it did for the physics paper. So can AI generate exam papers? Not exactly. It's able to generate what I would call basic questions, but it still lacks that creativity element which makes these papers particularly difficult. So I think it's fair to say, for now, exam writers are fairly safe in keeping their job.